From paddock to plate. It's the catch cry of a small food revolution that appears to be catching on. Being aware of where your food comes from is at the heart of it, as well as reducing your carbon footprint. A group of university students have turned the idea into a reality, setting up a food cooperative in an attempt to reduce the need for the big supermarkets and provide better, fresh food access to outer suburban residents. State Line's Fiona Breen visited them and found all you need to get started is a knife and a bag.
Hidden behind the Tasmanian University Union building in Sandy Bay, a group of students are running a small-scale organic food cooperative. Volunteers tend the garden, planting a range of veggies. Customers can collect a knife at the counter and harvest their own.
Sometimes you'll be able to harvest stuff straight out of the garden and, it doesn't get any fresher than that. Price-wise, we also, that's the main focus for us, is to deliver lower cost access to this sort of stuff. So we're a not-for-profit organisation, so the only margins that we add is just enough to cover the cost of operating.
It's bringing the consumer closer to the food source. The herbs and veggies they don't grow come from local organic farms or fair trade organisations. Everything can be traced back to its origin.
It's about giving people a place to get hands-on and help do it themselves, I guess, to take control a bit of their food systems. As a group, we're just sort of fed up with the dominance of Coles and Woolworths and the experience that you get when you're shopping in those sorts of places. They control like 90% of the food market in Tasmania, and we wanted to try and take control and do something different, and we worked hard and we're happy to, the community has this now.
The cooperative is also a meeting place for local community groups and a showcase for sustainable living. The pizza oven is fired up for third-year geography and environment students, wanting to see how climate change issues can be tackled at a local level.
Yeah, it's clear that Australians have a huge carbon imprint and we don't have a good reputation internationally for action, and so this is something that students can do individually and as a community in terms of trying to lessen our impact and inspire others to lessen their impact as well.
The building itself was designed with low impact in mind. Mostly recycled materials were used. Volunteers help build the walls, which are made of straw bales and a render of soil and fermented fruit and vegetable juice.
It's tied in really well in terms of our curriculum and the sort of discussions that we've been having around climate change, to come and finish our semester up here by seeing what a bunch of students have achieved over the last 5 years.
For Ben Wills, one of the founders of The Source, it's a long way from the seed of an idea that began with a small group of uni friends.
We were a group of undergraduate students primarily who were looking to do positive things about environmental issues. There's a lot of negativity in the environmental debate, generally, often, especially in Tasmania, around forestry and things, and we were looking for a positive outlet, I guess, and finding somewhere to have a food cooperative on campus where students and the broader community could access lower cost, really good quality local organic food was what inspired us and still inspires us now.
It started 5 years ago with a garden on land leased for a peppercorn rent from the university. After a lot of hard work and volunteer hours, the shop opened 6 months ago.
Whether or not this sort of small system will ever be something that more than a minuscule amount of the population.
For Ben Wills, The Source has become more than a pet project. It's part of his PhD research, under the guidance of the Australian Innovation Centre Director, Jonathan West.
In the UK, especially the sort of local food buying groups, people coming together voluntarily to buy stuff off organic wholesalers and deal with local farmers is really a growing phenomena. I think as a kind of a backlash, people are sick of buying food from where they don't know where the food's coming from. They don't get any information about the food.
We'll pick leaves off this lettuce.
The next big challenge for the small band of volunteers is extending their reach and providing low-cost, healthy food into the wider community.
How do you make local, ethical food more accessible to more people, so it's just not a thing for the wealthy, it's not an elite. And that's what my PhD is about. It's really how do these sort of alternative food systems like this, how do people involved in that engage with ideas around economic efficiency, and what are the processes that are at play when they're making economic decisions.
With the internet, it really lowers the cost of finding people who share a like-minded interest.
Jonathan West, who's advising the Premier on expanding food production, believes it's the type of innovative project that could really work, and the timing is right.
Where people want more accurate, more timely information about the food they're eating, and they want more connection to where it comes from. People now like to know which farm did it come from, what variety am I eating, when was it harvested, is it fresh, is it good quality? And the way they find that out is by knowing exactly where it came from.
It's hoped the National Broadband Network might help extend the reach of the source. If successful, an application for a small state government grant will help fund research into how to reach those outlying suburbs.
It's happening to a very large extent in Europe, and it's happening on an increasing scale in the United States. And there's every reason to believe it will happen here, and there's every reason to believe that Tasmania can be and should be the spearhead of this movement.